Hey guys, Irene here. Welcome back to my YouTube channel. Today I'm gonna do a sit down talking video. I haven't done these in a while, but because I'm stuck at home like the rest of the world and I can't really do any photo shoots, I thought, why not do this video? I wanted to do this for quite some time now because, quite frankly, I'm tired of answering the same exact questions under each video all the time. So I'm gonna be answering your most frequently asked questions right now. So the first question is about the lens hood. People really don't like the way I use it, or should I say they don't like that I don't use the lens hood. I get these comments every day. You don't know how to use your lens hood is backwards, why don't you use your lens hood? She doesn't know how to use her lens hood. So let me try to answer this question once and for all. Actually, let me go grab my lens with the lens hood. So here it is, and this is how my lens looks in pretty much all of my videos. So there are two main reasons why you would want to use a lens hood. Number one is to prevent lens flares, but I personally absolutely love lens flares. I will specifically position the model to the light to get the lens flare. I think they're really cool, interesting, and they add a nice element to your images. So I, on purpose, do not wear a lens because I want to get some interesting effects in my camera. All right. So number two, why you would want to wear a lens hood is to protect your lens in case it falls, protect your lens from scratches or fingerprints. And again, for me, that doesn't really matter because in pretty much 11 years of me doing photography, I have never dropped a lens. And okay, I do realize it can happen at some point, but I'm not gonna not get the look that I want just because my lens might fall. You know what I mean? Like, I'm not gonna put the hood on the lens and not get the lens flares that I want just because I might drop it on the floor. Like, I would rather risk a very small chance of me dropping the lens and get the lens flares that I really enjoy. So now you'll ask, why do I keep the lens hood on my lens still? If I really don't want to use it, then just like take it off and never wear it ever again on your lens. But the reason why I still have it in its stored position and I always have the lens hood with me is because there are situations where the lens flares are too much and where it's obstructing the image, where I really do need to use a lens hood. That only happens if I'm shooting midday, like late afternoon, where the sun is still kind of not low enough and it's very strong that it's creating some really intense lens flares that are like not desirable. In that case, I will take it from its stored position. And by the way, yes, this is not wearing a lens hood wrong. This is the stored position of the lens hood, okay? For those who didn't know. So you take it off, you put it on the way you would, and voila, now all of these pesky, really bad lens flares that we don't want can disappear, okay? This is the reason why I still keep the lens hood on the cameras, because you never know when you actually want to use it, although most of the time I don't use it. So hopefully that answers the question about the lens hood. I'm still probably gonna get some people telling me that I still don't understand how to use lens hood, you know, go figure. The second question is kind of a long one, but I've been getting it a lot, especially since I started traveling a lot more recently. So the question is, what's the point of going to a really nice location and then shooting it at 1.2 and blurring the out of the background? So listen, there are so many ways of doing photography. I love the photographers that go on location and bring like 5 strobes, shoot everything in like f12, and they get a really cool result. I also love photographers that go on location with like nothing and shoot everything wide open and also get a beautiful result. I also love photographers that shoot everything on film and everything black and white. You know, there's so many ways of shooting a particular location. Everyone has their styles and their own preferred ways of shooting. I personally just love shooting wide open. It is a part of my signature look that I worked on for years, and I'm very happy with that look. I'm very happy with the style that I've created for myself. I think it's very recognizable and it has been very successful for me. Secondly, I'm a portrait photographer and I always focus on my models first. So let's say I have an idea, I will find a model based on that idea, then I will style her based on her look, and then lastly I will choose a location based on the styling and the model. The location for me is never like the #1 priority. It's only there to be as a backdrop to the image that I'm creating. It's only there to complement the model. So whenever I shoot on location, my priority is not to show you the beautiful location, but show you the model in the setting. I hope that that makes sense. And I mean, in my opinion, these images still showcase the location really well, although it's shot at 1.2 and you see how the background is blurry and how it's falling like even blurrier as it goes further. Again, this might not be for everyone, and I totally get it because everyone has their own taste, but that is just the way I personally like to shoot. And again, it's worked for me really well and I will continue doing it. Even if it didn't work for me, even if I wasn't successful at it, I wouldn't shoot the way that someone else wants me to shoot. I always do what I want to do. I always do things the way I think it looks good. Okay, so the next question will probably haunt me forever because no matter how many times I answer it, I still get it all the time. I even made a full video just based on this subject and I still get comments about it like daily. And it is, why do you not use Flash? I can probably write a book comprised of just comments about Flash. So I have the answer to this question that's very detailed and long, and if you want to see that, I will link it to the video that I've made like a few years ago on this specific topic. But in short, it is very similar answer to the previous question. It is just my style. I prefer shooting natural light. Nothing wrong with Flash. Flash is great, but not for me. I prefer just going bare, you know, just camera on me. No Flash needed. Next question is about the clothes that I use for my photo shoots. I always get this question. Where did you buy this dress? Where can I buy this dress? Can someone give me a link where I can buy this? Those loyal fans know the answer. It is Value Village. Actually, let me just show you guys, okay? Because it's gonna be a little bit easier to explain. Oh, hey, didn't see you there. Welcome to my DIY room. So this is my DIY room where I keep all of my clothing, costumes, hats, accessories, props, flowers, candle holders. And I have all of my craft supplies to make things with. And I would say that 90% of the things that you see here I bought from Value Village and various others, secondhand shops like Goodwill and Salvation Army. I like shopping in those places because you can find some really unique pieces for a really cheap price. For example, like something like this, which is like a nice nightgown set. I think I bought it for around maybe $12, whereas if you would buy it in a regular store, I mean, it would cost like, I don't know, maybe like $60 or $70, something like that. So yeah, unfortunately, I can't really give you a link or a place where I bought these because they probably don't really make these anymore, as all of them are vintage. But I encourage you guys to go out to your local thrift stores and find those pieces for yourself. You might not find any cool things in just like one trip, okay? You gotta go multiple times and you have to really invest time into looking for these things. I think I go to Value Village at least like 2 to 3 times a month, and I know when they restock. I'm subscribed to their newsletter, so I know when they get all of their discounts. So yeah, I would suggest try going few times at least to find some of these things, because sometimes I go and I don't find anything, and sometimes I go and I find lots of things. So I hope you guys enjoyed this little room, and let's get to the next question. Okay, the next question is, did you switch to Sony? So for most of my career, I have been using pretty much exclusively just Canon. But for the past few months, I have been experimenting with different brands. I've shot a little bit of Fuji, some Olympus, some Sony, because I have been on the quest to finding a perfect mirrorless camera for myself. And to be honest, I'm still on that quest even to this day, because I don't think a perfect mirrorless camera exists for me just yet. But I did learn a few things with this whole experiment, and you know, using only just Canon, I've always wondered if I'm missing anything, if maybe a different brand can give me a different perspective on things. And to be honest, what I've learned is that no, I'm not missing anything. I guess this should not be a surprise to myself, because I was never a brand person. I was never so much into gear. I always am more excited about the process of shooting, the process of creating, the process of like coming up with ideas for my photo shoots, rather than like geeking out about cameras and lenses and gear in general. So once and for all, I figured out for myself that it doesn't really matter what camera I'm using. It's still gonna be me and my style what makes the images, and not so much the camera. But there's one thing that I will never replace, and it is the 85mm 1.2. Just look at that glass. I mean, come on. She thick. No matter what lenses I try, I always come back to this one. I don't know if it's because it's that good or if it's because I've used it since the very beginning of me doing photography, and I feel like it almost shaped the way I shoot and who I am as a photographer. But seriously though, I will never replace it, and that's the only piece of gear that I'm gonna be geeking out about, is this lens. Oh, I feel like I totally forgot to answer the question. So no, I have not switched to anything just yet. I haven't switched to any of the other brands. I'm still just figuring things out, and I'm mostly shooting Canon gear. So yeah. Okay, let's do a last one, because this video is already getting really long. And it is, do I use presets and do I sell presets? And no, and no. When I learned Photoshop, presets weren't popular at all. So I never got into habit of using them or creating them. Each image that I create is crafted from the very start to the very end. I take a lot of time in Photoshop, and I think people always take this sentence in the wrong way. When I say that I like to edit a lot, it doesn't mean that I like to change up the whole image. It means that I like to take my time in Photoshop and address every single little detail within it. So when you see my before and afters, they're not like super dramatic like many people think. They're actually very subtle, but in my opinion, every little subtle thing makes your image so much more better. I just physically can't slap a preset on an image and call it a day. I have to do every single step by step in my image. I have to do my skin retouch, my dodge and burn. I have to like work on the background, on the colors, and all of these little things. So just putting a preset on something just does not work with how I like to work. But listen, that doesn't mean that I think that presets are bad or that they don't work, because again, everyone has their own preferences, their own workflow, and I think presets are super useful for like wedding photographers that have to edit a huge batch of images and they want to keep the same kind of look to all of them. For me personally, it just doesn't work, so that's why I don't really use them, and because I don't use them, I don't sell them. It's pretty simple. Alright, so this is it. I hope you guys enjoyed it. If you think that I missed some of the other most frequently asked questions, please leave them in the comment section down below, and I will make sure to answer all of them, or I will try to answer all of them, and I will see you guys in my next video. Bye! Nuna, do you want to be in my video? Why are you running? Why are you... Okay. my god, I just broke it. If you don't know what a value village is, shame on you. Ooh, let me show you this umbrella right here. I love this one. I need to do some kind of Japanese inspired. I hope this is Japanese. People are gonna roast me in the comments. Oh, hi there. Didn't see you there. No, hi there, didn't see you there.